beautiful Sunday afternoon. Let me just turn this off here. And I want to don't want to touch. Just don't want to touch anything because the tripod's really wonky. Hey, Raph, let me say hi to everybody. I got an itchy nose. Seashell Surf, I sent you a message in Messenger, Seashell. Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes. Freaky Geek, Lazy Black, Laura Higgins, Raph, my darling, and Sherry Leach. How's everybody doing today? Now, let me just put that on live chat. And I'm just going to pull cards today. Doing laundry and soaping. Okay, sweetheart. Oh, Raph. You know that there is a community yard sale here on the 15th and 16th of May, right? And it's only, well, I was told $15 a table, but I can give you the number. I'm putting in 2 tables. So if you want to come down and put some of your soaps on one of my tables, we can do that together, right? I'm doing great. Hey, Joe, Medicated Auntie, Mary Cook, Jean Kubicek, Chaos, Seashell. I told Seashell to remind everybody, I don't want you tipping here, okay? I don't want 30% of whatever you send will go to Facebook, and then another 25% of that will go to AdSense because they're still dinging me. So please do not tip me here. If you do feel so inclined to tip, it doesn't have to be much, but you can do it through PayPal. You can do a $2 tip through PayPal. That's not going to be a big deal, right? Hey, Sage Spa, Willows, Jackie, Celeste, Nana, Marie Dunn. Wow. I've got good news. My ex spotted. Your ex broke out in spots. That's good news. Let's see. What do we got here? So let's do... Oh, I got my tea on there. So we have the White Light Oracle, Work Your Light Oracle, Starseed Oracle, Soul's Journey, Energy Oracle, and Gaia. Hi, Aces. How are you, darling? How's everybody doing? Okay, let's do a cleansing first. There's been, I don't know about anybody else. Oh, I got to tell you folks, those folks who tipped, and some of them very generously, thank you very much. I put most of those tips into a flower basket for Aunt Audrey, since I can't be there. Unless some kind of miracle happens that, I can come up with the gas money there and back. But, and that's not asking. What I am saying is I was going to send a basket. It's called a grandmother's basket. And it had daisies and baby's breath and ferns in it. But with your tips, it went from good to better to best. So she's getting a nice basket. And Angie's going to keep the basket for me so that I can keep my cards in it, right? The flowers are going to be there. And if Angie can, she's going to bring the basket home so that I can put my cards in. Isn't that kind of cool? So it'll all go full circle, kind of. Can I sing today? What would you like me to sing? Not everybody likes me singing, Danny boy. Hey, Hope, how are you? Well, I'll sing one of my mother's lullabies. 2 cheeks just like a rose. This is the girls' version. A little turned up nose. To me she'll always be that little girl of mine. 2 arms to hold me tight, Two lips to kiss goodnight. To me she'll always be that little girl of mine. And when she grows up to have babies of her own, here's hope that she'll think of me at home as two arms who held her tight, two lips that kiss goodnight. To me she'll always be that little girl of mine. There you go. You asked for it. You got the soppiest stuff I could think of, Danny boy. Hey, Lori M. and Lewis, Hope, Willows, Jean. Hey, Becky, how are you? I don't know who wrote it, but there's a boys version as well. But I often sing the girls version first because that's the version my mom sang to me, and then she'd sing the boys version to my brothers. Kelly Brown, Laura Higgins, how's it going? What's for dinner tonight? Good old-fashioned chicken and rice. And as soon as my timer goes off, I've got to go add. I've got 2 chicken legs. Woo! I don't know who needs to hear this, but all right. Longing for home. Okay, I don't know who needs to hear this, but if this resonates with you, then it's for you, right? Hyreth, longing for home. Homesick for the stars. Now, this is the Starseed Oracle card. And if you often, I don't know how many times I've said this, but every time when I go to bed at night, winter, summer, spring, or fall, and my window's right above my bed, okay? And I open the curtain and I look for stars. Always, I open the curtain, I look for stars, and I say goodnight to the stars. When I walk outside, when I look out my window, I'm not looking down there. I'm looking at the sky. Okay? I've always felt that Earth was not my actual home, right? I've always been homesick for the cosmos. And look how pretty and pink and purple that is. Child of the cosmos, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. So if you think you're a starseed, then, the intelligence of the universe does lie within you. If you think it is. Why? Because that's who you are. And it is the moment you say, I'm a starseed, or I'm an indigo child, or I'm an earth child, or I'm a child of the cosmos, or whatever. The moment you say it and it resonates with you, it's because it's true. You don't have to have anybody tell you that. Now, baby steps, action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. Now, this was upside down because these 2 cards are actually calling out to some people saying, hey, you're homesick for the stars for a reason. You're a child of the stars, but it's upside down. You don't even know how to take, it's not that you don't know how to take baby steps. You just need to take the first step and acknowledge it. Okay? Thank you for the card the other day. I know exactly what it was now. It was about my ex-boyfriend being okay. Okay. Okay, awesome. So, I'm going to finish our cleanse here because all I did was sing. And I know singing is actually a form of prayer. But I want to cleanse the cards. O smoke of the sacred white sage, carry our message to the Creator, source of all. May we be cleansed with loving energy, honesty, and fellowship. May the cards reflect that. And may I be in tune with who needs to be heard. Okay. Okay. You're making homemade pizza. Well, I got 2 chicken legs and they're in the oven, in the Dutch oven, the cast iron Dutch oven. And I've sprinkled a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of paprika, a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder. And they're cooking on 375 for 30 minutes because they're frozen. And as soon as the timer goes off, I will lift them out and I will pour in a liter of hot mushroom broth, 2 cups of basmati rice, a cup of diced onions, some frozen broccoli, and some peppers. And then I'll put the chicken legs back in on top, put the lid on, and walk away for another half an hour. Andrew, hi, darling. How are you? Lori, what's must be strange? I've been feeling for years that I'm not where I should be. I feel lost in my home. Well, that could be because your home itself doesn't resonate with you. But if you think for a minute that you have some connection to the source of all and to the earth, bury your feet in the soil on a nice warm day and just sit there and connect, and you'll find your connection, right? And then start looking up, say, star seeds or ancient peoples of the planet, because our planet has not been our planet always. It's been redone a couple of times. Just think about, oh, well, that didn't work, let's try again, right? Because really, source, God, didn't want to be alone anymore, right? So he did some experiments. Wow, okay, I hear you. I don't know who needs to hear this. Sacred Earth Mother, a message of love. Okay, you feeling that? And the other one is harmony, power, self-confidence, and productivity. There are a lot of people who are going to find their light just by sticking their hands in the soil and gardening this year. I don't know who needs to hear this, but everything you do with love, because it is a message of love. Like, look at my plants. That was supposed to be organic, probiotic soil that I started all my plants in, and they were just like, eh. So I mixed them new soil and I replaced it, and I paid more attention to them, and it was like they came back with love. Everything just deserves love. So everything that you see growing is a message of love from the Earth Mother, okay? Lori Lumax. Okay, Lori Lumax. The energy oracle cards are calling for Lori Lumax. There we go. Wow, you got 2. You got broken heart and anxiety, Lori. Now, I don't know what's going on in your life, but you feel betrayed. And what this is telling you, that yes, it is painful, but if you look very close, the heart is mending. Okay? So you just have to trust the process. And your anxiety really has nothing to do with you. Whatever's going on here with whoever did this to you, it's actually none of your business. It's their shit. It's who they are. Don't waste your anxiety on them. I'm really sorry if this comes off hard, but this is what I'm getting. Your heart will mend, but there'll be a scar that will remind you that this is what you were put through. Be true to yourself. Mend your broken heart and stop giving it to people who don't appreciate it for what it is. God, I hope that meant I hope that means kind of, hey, Autumn, how are you? I don't know. That's supposed to be for Lori Lumax. I hope that means something, but it could have meant something for a lot of people. And then there's the indecision, Lori, because this card just fell out as I was shuffling again and I said your name. Darling, can you shut the bathroom door? Or are you sitting down? Okay, I'll do it in a minute. This is the indecision card. If you notice, under this person is undecided about which way to go. The heartbreak and the anxiety should be very clear indicators in which direction you should go. I was asked to deliver a graduation speech and I'm having the hardest time finding a topic. Any ideas out there? I teach at a Catholic academy. Oh, did I, Lori? Okay, good. Good. Graduation speech. Like, is it a high school graduation, a college graduation, grade 6 graduation, grade 8 graduation? What level in their life are there? Catholic Academy. What? Hi, Monique. Simply Jessica. I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm going to go shut the bathroom door so we don't have to listen to the washing machine. Oh, excuse me. I can put the rice and stuff in. Yes, I had a peek at the chicken. Another 10 minutes and I'll be able to put the rice in. Oi! With Sally. Hey, Paula. Rosie Slade, Jennifer W. How you doing, Natalie? So much better than earlier this week. My lungs went nuts when I was in the hospital for 2 nights. Too much stress. And probably too much dust kicked up from packing and unpacking and all that stuff too. Rosie, Gracie, Rosie, or Howie, Rosie says hi to you and Gracie. Who just asked for a card? Somebody just asked for a card. With Sally. Lost love, surrender, healing, and release. I have a feeling that you've got some lost love, surrender, healing, release. There's somebody that's been in a corner of your heart for a very long time, and you don't feel completely free to love somebody else 100%. While this person is still in a corner of your heart, a very dark corner of your heart. Not dark as in bad, but just well hidden, okay? You need to surrender to the love that is right in front of you and let go. Because until you let that little lost love go, it can be a fond memory, but don't entertain any hopes. Because until you let this one go, you're never going to be able to commit 100% to any relationship. I don't know if that was for you, with Sally, but it was pretty clear to me. Willows, I need to know something. Willow's Garden. The Temptress. Seduction, deceit, a broken promise. Willow. Somebody is only cozying up to you to get information. And as soon as they get what they want, they're going to drop you like a hot potato. I don't know who it is. It could be a salesman. It could be a family member. I don't know. But they have this really wonderful way of speaking, of making you feel like they know your every intimate thought. They understand you so well. And as soon as they gotten in and they've gotten the information or whatever it is they want from you, they're gone. Sorry. Wow, things are pretty dark today, eh? I have only 2 weeks to prepare. Another idea that I had was maybe using some of my daddy's words of advice that he has shared with me. Well, you know what, honey? Did that advice fail you in any way? I mean, what? The whole point of talking to graduating students as an adult is to impart some of the things that you learned. And if I can say anything, it would be to love people, not things. That's the only thing I could say. Hey, Rosie. Rosie is calling from the universe has, no, not the universe has your back, the soul's journey. Rose, wow. That one tried to jump out. Let's see. And it did. Okay, Rosie. Guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. What this card is saying is to let go of the guilt. Let go of any guilt you have. Not guilt. It says guilt, but what I'm getting is you have done everything you possibly can. There is no more for you to give in this direction. Okay? So you have to let it go so that you can grow. Because if you have regrets over maybe, say, the way you raised kids or how you ended a friendship, or if you have guilt about the way something happened or something came about, those are hooks in your back preventing you from going forward. Do you understand? So please, 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 see those things for what they are and get those hooks out of your back and move forward, honey. You can't grow if you're living, if you've got regrets of the past. Okay? Under pressure. Hey, Paula, how's it going? Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you can take an idea of your father's and or somebody else's, and you can expand on it. Take something that resonates with you and then find out why it resonates with you. And then you'll figure out the message that you want to impart from that, right? Yochi, how's it going? Monique, all right. Monique Yap. Nope. Monique Yap. Oh, my elbows are gone. Whoa, there we go. Wow. Monique, this is pretty self-explanatory. Align your life. What is not aligned needs to be fixed and changed. Because as you can see, if we're not all lined up, we don't function properly. So you've got a lot of things that you have to align that make you comfortable and feel safe here. Okay? I get the impression that you're trying to do everything you're trying to help other people, and they don't really understand that you're trying to help them. Now, that's not it either. You're trying to make everything easy for these people, and they don't understand. They don't understand that the effort it's taking. So you know what? Start looking after yourself, okay? Align yourself, or you're not going to be any good for anybody else. Hey, how's it going, Yoshi? I think I knew in my head, but my heart didn't want to believe. Well, fractionated. Well, not really. You're all there if you notice. But it's just got to be, tucked in. Everything has to be tucked in so that you are not fracturing yourself trying to be everything to everyone. Does that make sense? Jackie, you read a card for me a short time ago. It was so true. I just never was able to admit it. Could you please do another card? Okay. How's Seashell today? Aloha, my darling. I don't mean to ignore you. I mean, you are constantly there. And I love you, sweetheart. And I'm going to pull a card for you shortly. But I'll pull one for Jackie. Let's try the White Light Oracle cards. Whoa. I think I hold them too hard because, well, there we go. Oh, wow. Spirit of the Owl, 852 hertz. Jackie, I feel like you've gotten on top of something. You've made some changes in your life, and you are seeing things now from a bird's eye view, and you're getting a lot of aha moments. But know that the owl is not only, kind of like the all-seeing eye, but it's not. You know that the owl is strong and silent. It's also a predator, okay? In your case, this is not a bad thing. It means you have learned to raise yourself above petty bullshit. You are learning it, and it's been a hard lesson to learn, but you are rising above. And you are taking your place in the hierarchy of nature. So you are ascending to a certain degree. All right? You've risen above something beautifully. And, as a predator, always look for your opportunities to better your life, better yourself. And your head swivels. Keep an eye on everything around you, right? So I don't know if that makes any sense. Hey, Wanda, how are you? Laura, since you wish for your own words, speak of control versus out of your control on the journey thus far, and where you feel or envision as you venture into the future with your experiences. Wow, that's really well said, Paula. Now, I am going to pull a card. No, it's called the Gaia cards for Shell. Because she works so hard and she never asks. So this is for my Aloha beauty sister. Okay, maybe not. Maybe Gaia doesn't want to talk to Seashell. Yes, he does. Ooh. Purification. Fire. Bare essentials. The naked truth. And wholeness. Do you know what this means? This means it is time. There's a lot of things in your life that are anchoring you from going forward in freedom. And you need to burn that shit down. You just need whatever's holding you back, burn it to the ground. I don't necessarily mean physically, but you need to be naked before your creator. You need to face your final purification by fire. Now, I'm not telling anybody to burn a house down, folks. I'm talking about the things that are holding you hostage. Scrape that shit off, Shell, and walk forward. Hell, get yourself a new pair of shoes rather than scrape it off. Just step out of those shoes and walk away. You're welcome, darling. You're trying. You really are. You're doing fine, Wanda. You're doing fine. Everything happens in God's time. Okay? You know, grief takes time. Do you know I was 16 years old? My mother died when I was 9. And do you know I was 16 years old before I actually had an outburst of absolute inconsolable grief? It took 16, no, not 16 years. It took 7 years for me to be able to lay my mother to rest. You know, 7 years before I even admitted to my own grief. These things take time. There is no rushing the process. It flows like a river flows, and time just rolls right on. And maybe what's good gets a little bit better, and maybe what's bad gets gone. My oven just, I'll be right back. You're doing amazing, Wanda. You're showing up for life every day. And if that's all you got, then that's all you got, and that's okay for now, right? Oh, oh. Is it broccoli here? Yes, ma'am. Peppers. Onions. Broccoli. Tiny bit more rice. I always seem to make it mushy. Wow, that's heavy. All right, supper's in the oven. 40 minutes. Sorry about that, folks. I had my broth all hot with the mushrooms in it and the rice measured out, and I just had to take the chicken out, put in the broth and the mushrooms, the rice, the broccoli, the peppers, the onions, and then put the chicken back in, put the lid on the Dutch oven, and throw it in the oven. Oh. Ah. Ah. Oh, Anne, 6 months today. I'm so sorry, darling. Oh, so, my plants have gone nuts. And I have some of the tomatoes that are 3 to a pot. Remember how it's just been a week? The roots are growing out the bottom of the 5-inch pot. So I'm actually going to take the 5-inch pot with the 3 plants, and I'm going to transplant the 3 ones, the ones that are 3, and I'll see how they do before I might transplant the rest, because I'm thinking of transplanting them, putting a muffin paper down in here, because the pots the small ones are in are only this big. But if I put a muffin cup in the bottom and fill it with dirt halfway up, put the plant in just to the leaves, and then put more dirt in, it gives them much more root growth to go. And they'll be going in the ground in a couple of weeks. So, hey, Avonlea Ann. Just keep showing up for life every day, Wanda. Keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you'll be fine, darling. It just doesn't feel that way right now, you know? We share our love today with all of us grieving over people that can't be with us. Let us keep them in our memories and our prayers as we go. Yeah. Yeah. And on the card for Aunt Audrey's flowers, I put, artist, matriarch to the core. Artist, professional woman, all those things that she was to me. And I put, the list of our names in the family, and then I put YouTube family on the end, because some of you donated to the flowers. So, hey, yellow bird up high in banana tree, yellow bird, you sit all alone like me. Did your lady friend leave the nest again? No. Hey, Vicky, how are you, darling? Julie from Florida. Malka, hey, how's it going? Happy Sunday. Weird question. Has anyone ever had ongoing sensation of having something between your toes when there's nothing there? Do you have diabetes? Because that could be the beginning of neuropathy. Or maybe it's just your toes wanting to be in flip-flops and in the sand. That's not Sherry Leach. Heck, I paid almost $10 for a watermelon. Whoa, what did I miss? What did I miss? $13.99 for out-of-season watermelon. Holy, well, yeah, you guys all thought I was nuts for paying $11 for one. But I have been told that I can start my watermelon plant seeds up to 4 weeks before planting, which is just about soon. And that pan of marigolds is not doing diddly squat. So I may just stick some flowers in one end, right? And some watermelons in the other. Or I might start my zucchinis and my watermelons. Yeah, really, eh? Nope, no diabetes. Which toes is it? I mean, there's all kinds of explanations for stuff. But I mean, maybe you slept on it funny. Like, not slept on it funny, but maybe it was crossed over or something in a shoe for a long period of time. Our bodies remember stuff even long after it's passed. Right? Like, for instance, I have fibromyalgia. Every traumatic thing that has ever happened to my body comes back to haunt me whenever the fuck it feels like it. Right? That's why I'm waiting about a week, and hopefully I'll be planting a lot of stuff that is seed, like the watermelon. Well, I have 3 packages of sugar babies, and I know I have other watermelon. So I'm going to, Howie's going to, Howie, darling, how many empty barrels do we have? So I can have 2 of them, right? Okay. So we've got 45-gallon drums that used to hold just soap. Just, soap. It's biodegradable soap. And I'm going to get Howie to cut a hole in the top, like cut the top off, but not cut under the rim, just cut the top out. And then cut the bottom out, right? And then cut them in half. So I'll probably have 16-inch, 18-inch beds, and I'll get 4 of them out of 2 barrels. And I'm going to put them over by the pool, kind of on the other side. And I'm going to plant like my watermelons and stuff in them. Because they're fast. They're fast growing. So that's why I love you, girl. Well, thank you, Danny boy. Who did I miss? Hey, Candy, how are you? I'm not paying that much for watermelon. Well, I know. But the thing is I'm seeing what's happening. And more of Howie's paycheck, which has not really changed. It's gotten a little bit better since his layoff and he had to take a job that was not up to his standards kind of thing. But now he's in a decent job. But the problem is I used to be able to give him every 2 weeks $260. And out of that $260, he'd probably spend about 120 of it on fuel. And the other 140 was his coffee money, his car parts money, whatever he wanted to budget. But gas has almost doubled in price. Okay. What was gas on Friday, honey? About $1.80 a liter. There's 4 liters in a gallon. Okay, guys? Okay. Are 3.76 liters in a gallon, right? In a US gallon. So you think about how it went from, I can't remember. It was below $1, right? It was like, we were bitching when it hit 90 cents, 99 cents. It's now like $1.80. But Howie's, this is inflation. Howie's pay hasn't gone up. We're still picking up our finances after a heart attack, a layoff, COVID, a substandard paying job, right? We're still getting that all together, right? But prices are going up. You know what I gave him last payday? $175 was all I could afford to give him for gas. And that was pushing the boundary of whether he would be able to make it or not for 2 weeks of gas on $175. So everything's going up because remember, if you bought it, a trucker brought it, everything is going up in price. It's 69 here in Upper Michigan. Windows open. Tomorrow it will be 38. Yeah, I opened the bedroom window. It's still open. My office window, the bathroom window, and a window in the living room, and I let the spring breeze come through. Boy, that smells good, eh? And that's with a lid on it. I love chicken and rice. Great googly moogly. Googly moogly. Where have I heard that? Is that from the House of Frightenstein? It's about the same principle. In my case, it's a boat, but same principle. Yeah, exactly. Right? So if I can afford to this year, I'm going to, as soon as, because again, my finances should have been fixed, but they're not. So hopefully that will, every month I live in hope that something's going to jog them. Because at this point, they're taking money out of me illegally because they've acknowledged that I fixed the problem, but they're still taking the money from me, right? So if that gets sorted out, then I'm going to spend $1,000 between now and July, having tree cutters come in and taking down first the dead trees, the dead poplar, the dead maple, the dead spruce. And I'm going to have them cut that up in log lengths because it's already dead. It's firewood standing, except, spruce is, it's kind of a summertime fire thing. But then I'm going to get them to take out some trees that I find are dangerous towards the house. And what they'll do when you bring them in, these tree cutters, they don't just cut the trees down. They will chip all the brush and fire it into my ravine if I need it, for fill, or if I want a pile of it kept for mulching my gardens. They'll cut the trunk into log lengths so that Howie can cut them up with the chainsaw, or cut up into lengths so that Howie can just use the log splitter, because I don't want to spend $700 on firewood this year, right? I'd rather spend $1,000 and get 2 years worth of firewood and mulch. And it's all here. It's stuff that's got to be done anyway, right? Hey, Amirs, how's it going? Bev, that's stealing. What's stealing? Jean, what do you mean that's stealing? What's stealing? I really, really want to know that. So, I mean, it's not stealing. It's wood that's on my land, if that's what you mean. Oh, yeah, it's stealing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? It's like they've gotten so big because, remember, Google owns it all. Google owns YouTube. Google owns AdSense. It is called Google AdSense. But they're so big, they don't even know half the shit that's going on, because if when that was corrected 10 months ago, they just got around to this month telling me, oh, yeah, you corrected it, but they're still taking it. It's like, get out of my face. Going great. My fibromyalgia is not bad today. Mine's sore, but it's like after the depression cleared up, I was much, much better. Much, much better. Hey, Pen, how are you, darling? Got beef stew cooking and homemade bread today. Well, nobody's getting a video tomorrow because I kind of took the day off. I didn't take the day off. I gave myself permission to take the day off. And I, watered my plants, and I unloaded and loaded the dishwasher, and I got things out for supper. And as soon as this is done, and I'm going to have supper, and we're going to watch some TV. Yeah, depression, it was real tough this time. This is the worst depression I've had in probably, I don't know how many years. I mean, it was just one thing on top of another, on top of another, on top of another, That reminds me of this rapper, Rick Ross. They didn't want to pay I'm sorry, my screen just went out. Reminds me of this rapper, Rick Ross. They didn't want to pay $100K per tree to be cut down. He sent someone to Lowe's and tried to cut the trees down, 10 trees, and he a city boy. Well, how he can do it? Do I sleep a lot? No. I when I'm depressed, I spend a lot of time in bed, but I'm an insomniac, so I don't sleep a lot. I kind of come in. Like, for instance, this morning I woke up at 9 o'clock, right? I woke up at 9 a.m. and I just laid in bed, snuggled my dog, read my book, called my cousin on the phone, had a visit. And I said, okay, I got to get up now and have a shower. But just giving myself permission to just lay. But it wasn't depression. That wasn't depression. I was comfortable. And I had nowhere to be until 4 o'clock today, right? Yeah, absolutely. Did you sleep a lot? Oh, no, I didn't sleep a lot because I'm an insomniac. So, and I have this rule that because I suffer depression, even with the medication, it doesn't take the depression away. It just makes it manageable. Okay. But I have this rule that I don't go back to bed once my feet are on the floor. If I want to lay in bed for an extra hour, that's one thing. But once I'm up and I'm dressed, I can't go back to bed, because what happens is it throws all my insomnia off, right? takes me months to get back on track with getting like 4.5, 5 hours sleep at a stretch at night, right? So I don't sleep a lot. I don't. Um, I would I just, keep putting one foot in front of the other and try and get shit done, like dragging my ass pretty much. So the tree cuts, that would be hard. Yeah. Yeah. No. And some of the trees need to be professionally taken down. And so I know there's a few here that we've had before. So there was one guy, I think it cost us $500. He took 3 or 4 trees down. I think I did it on video. And so I have to look that video up and call those boys, right? Because a couple of the trees are like on a hill in the ravine. One's overhanging power lines, 2 are threatening to fall on my house. I got at least 5 trees that got to come down, right? I make my bed as soon as my feet hit the floor. Otherwise, I climb back in. I don't make it right away because I learned from David Suzuki that if you fold your bedding back, like your top blankets and sheets, and fluff up your pillows and let it air for a few hours, it kills a lot of bacteria and microbial stuff that would actually still continue to thrive in the bed that you just got out of because you've put it back together warm. Does that make sense? Outer Range. Oh my God. Laura, what did I miss? I watched some new show on Prime today. I can't remember the name. Something Range. It was marginal, but I kept watching. Yeah. Outer Range. There is a great void. Right? It's almost like he can't talk about it. It's almost like he can't talk about it to anybody who hasn't seen it. Right? My bed being the couch for most of our 43 years married. I can't stay still in my sleep. Oh, I know. I toss and turn a lot. And one of I remember Mom, when she was sleeping in Howie's bed, when she was up, she said, how can you sleep with 2 pillows? And I said, well, Mom, for starters, I'm not 103 pounds and tiny framed like you. When I sleep on my side because I can't sleep on my back or on my stomach. I have to sleep on my side. And when I sleep on my side, I have to have pillows. Like I have one shoved in here. I have them shoved in here so that my neck isn't cricked. I said, if I slept with one pillow, I'd wake up with a cricked neck, right? Husband not interested. It's different. It's different. It is. I'm going to watch it out of curiosity. That's all. But has anybody seen Taboo on Prime? With last night was our movie night. We watched Venom with Tom Hardy and Venom Let There Be Carnage. So we watched some action hero Marvel comic stuff. 4 jars are awesome. Thank you, Monique. Thank you. Hubby holds it against me. Real life princess and the P. Well, did you tell him that it's because of him? You don't want to keep him up all night? Why do you think Howie and I sleep in separate beds? Like the couch has this stigma attached to it. Like, oh, you don't even have a proper bed. I'd rather sleep on the couch than be in bed with you. No. If you're not comfortable in the bed with your partner, get another fucking bed. So what we did, I'm telling you, we went to do Howie's Polar Plunge in Toronto. And we were there on New Year's Eve, and we got a really nice hotel room because we thought Mom was coming with us. And she decided, as we were on our way to pick her up, that she wasn't coming because she never got back to us about it. So we got this beautiful $150 New Year's Eve room with a corner window, right? And these 2 beautiful double beds all done up, fluffy pillows and comforters and white. And we looked at each other, said, which one do you want? And we realized when we slept that night that as long as we were like in the same room or, within shouting distance of each other, we slept better because we were in separate beds. I was talking about how many pillows I need. Yeah, I get you. Oh, yeah, Princess and the Pea, gotcha. For jars are awesome. When they had the lid shortage here, I started buying them and I haven't gone back. Well, the thing is, Tina, is I get every once in a while, you'll get someone from the bitch factory. I'll come in and say, well, I don't care if they are a US company, they're still made in China. I made a video yesterday of I had leftover chicken, so I made chicken vegetable fettuccine without any cream sauce. I could have probably added some mushroom soup, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to deal with the bitch factory, right? Just kidding, just kidding. I just didn't want to do vegetable soup, so or mushroom soup. So I cooked fettuccine and then I buttered it and garlicked it and added a little basil oil. And then I stir fried the leftover chicken. And then I added peppers and mushrooms and broccoli and onions and garlic and onion powders and pepper flakes and salt and pepper. And I served it over the garlic buttered fettuccine. It was really, really good. But one of the things I pointed out in the video, and I don't, let me know if I should leave it in. I said, for all those people who are bitching about the 4 jars lids being from China, look at this can, right? Yes, I buy Canadian products when I can, or at the very least, US products when I can. But sometimes all the stores have is stuff from China. And you look at a lot of your canned stuff, like mushrooms and stuff. You'll find a lot of your stuff from Walmart is from China. Stop going to the dollar store, for God's sakes, if you don't want to pay money to Chinese products. But don't pick on my jar lids because they're stainless steel. They're 4 millimeters thicker than anything that's disposable on the market. And if you order over $60 in the US, they free ship. Shipping's a bitch for Canadians, but all you have to do is when you put the order in, go to the website, phone them and say, I'm ordering from Canada. Can you mail them to me instead of UPS, right? Running away cooking on the barbecue. Take care all. Okay, freaky geek. Leave it in. Okay. Well, I mean, because you've seen me in the past say, when I can, I'll pay the extra 29 cents a tin or 30 cents a tin for Canadian mushrooms. Try and get them now. The stores won't even bring them in half the time. Do you know why? Because they know that the mushrooms from China will sell cheaper, that they'll sell faster, that they will get more of a profit. This is inflation. Nobody's immune, right? The people that complain about foreign things often don't even grow their own vegetables. I mean, well, let me put it to you this way. There are a lot of armchair critics out there, and I really don't care anymore. Okay? I really don't. I don't go to the bitch factory. I don't read their crap. Why? Because it's letting darkness in to subdue my light. And I'm not doing that for them. I'm not giving that to them, right? I was thinking about getting mushroom kits. Chinese leather products can be made from any animal, even dog, and they don't disclose it. Well, I mean, but there's times when you don't have a choice. So I'm looking at, I remember there was this place called Rockwood Gardens I used to order from when we lived in Ontario and we bought our first house. And I got rose bushes and everything. They come in pasteboard tubes and I got all kinds of stuff and they stood by their stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of people said, oh, it didn't arrive or oh, it didn't. And they just immediately replaced it and they went out of business. But what was I going to say about them? Have you, wait a minute. Have you had any failures for jars lids? Ball lids are made in China too, and they aren't what they used to be. Exactly. Exactly. Totally exactly. At this point in our economy, it's do the best you can with what you bloody have and stop bitching. And if you got time to sit on the internet and write posts page after page after page criticizing other people, you A, have way too much bloody time on your hands, and B, you don't have very many close friends. And if they are close friends, they're just like you, right? So keep your crap to yourself. We don't need it, right? Whether or not they grow their own vegetables, they wouldn't have the energy, right? They pick apart, oh, look at the stains on the outside of a crock pot. Well, it's the outside of the metal of the electric crock pot. I am 58 years old. I have underlying conditions. I'm overweight. And I don't have time to have a studio kitchen. My kitchen is where everything happens. As a matter of fact, I'm transplanting plants tomorrow. Superb canning lids, Bev. The sealant is thick and the metal is thicker than 4 jars. Self-sustained living. Nope. You know why? Because I'm not ready in any way, shape, or form to give up my 4 jars lids. So far, those are the only ones that have never failed. And I'm just going to stay with that because guess what? I like them, right? But I've never even heard you can, oh, right. Thank you. You can even get mushrooms in Walmart here. Okay. That's what I was talking about. So the Rockwood Gardens, they had these, they were like coolers, styrofoam coolers. And I don't know how you did it, but they were mushroom growing kits. I don't want fancy mushrooms. I just want button mushrooms that I can, right? And we do have a room in the basement, the utility room, that would probably be really good, but it's not as easy as they make out. You gotta have humidity things going on. You know what I mean? You gotta know your shit, right? Grasshoppers. Why do you call them grasshoppers? Use what you have and you will always have enough. And guess what? Enough is as good as a feast, my father used to say. And one day I said, what do you mean enough is as good as a feast? He said, well, what's the point of having more than enough? When you're sitting at a table and you're eating your dinner, what's the point of having more than enough? You can't eat more. So enough is just as good as any feast. 4 jar lids are now my go-to lids, better than Ball, in my opinion. Well, Ball, like somebody said, Ball are made in China. Right. Fake kitchens are on the Food Network. I'd rather watch a real home cook and some TV cook who wants you to buy expensive exotic ingredients for the birds. No. Like, a lot of my meals lately, you'll see me using the frozen onions and the frozen peppers. Why? Because they were a good deal. And guess what? They work, right? My freezers are not even half full. I could put everything in my one freezer in my small freezer and I might fill it. These times, like I sent Howie shopping on Friday because it was payday. And I said, okay. And I went through the flyers for Food Basics, for Shop Fresh, and I think it's called Shop Fresh, Freshco, Food Basics, Freshco. I don't even look at the IGA flyers. And I said to Howie, okay, here's what we need. Get me 24 cans of mushrooms because I keep forgetting. And he goes, okay. I said, 3 bags of milk, get some eggs, get some cheese. And my husband's gotten to the point where he doesn't even look for the long bars. He just looks for whatever's the right price and he grabs, right? And I said, now you'll find chicken legs on sale. They're a package for $10. I don't care if there's only 3 in them. Get, $30, $40 worth of chicken. And he said, wow. And I was actually pleased because there was 4 pieces in each package, like 4 legs with the backs attached. And he said, why were you willing to pay so much for chicken? I said, because I'm getting sick and tired of tube meat. I mean, we could only eat so many soups, so many casseroles, so many meatloaves before you want to dig your teeth into meat. Okay, I got 2 round steaks in the freezer. I'm hanging on to them. But I mean, I can't keep giving Howie linguine and spaghetti and soup. I can, right? I can. But the man works. We all work. You got to be able to have at least some chicken on Sunday, which is what we're having today. In 1970s, everything was stamped with made in Hong Kong and Taiwan. And the market continues to provide the critics with what they need and use. Yeah. My kitchen is basically a commercial kitchen, but everything is done on a budget with regular household kitchen appliances. Reason? Spouse is commercial kitchen engineer and everything is overthought. I'm multitasking, making haddock fish baked with my favorite baked potato. Fed my fur babies their one main for the day. Good show. Chicken's getting hard to find. Yeah. I still have a turkey in, and if we still had the bandsaw, the meat saw. Did somebody just pull in? Well, I just heard brakes. Why are you naked? Oh. So I don't know. I might get some chicks. But it's getting harder and harder on us. But I have that frozen turkey I bought for Christmas. It was $30, and they're still $30 at the IGA on sale. And if we still had our bandsaw, I'd have to tell Howie, take that turkey and run it right from breastbone to tailbone, and then cut it in half again and make it into 4 pieces. And I would just deal with that, and I would refreeze it. But I can't do that. We don't have the bandsaw anymore. So what I'm going to do, the meat saw anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, one of these days real soon, before things get too hot, there's going to be a turkey dinner. And there's going to be lots of meals from that turkey dinner.
Oven says 7 minutes.
It says 7 minutes? Are you hungry, baby? Oh my goodness. I'm happy to have an ample supply of canned chicken, but sometimes you want fresh. Well, I have canned chicken too. And I have to give Howie lunch meat sometimes because I can't afford $12 for a package of, Snyder's Maple Leaf Naturals or whatever the hell they are. So once a month, I will buy a package of lunch meat, a package of ham or a package of bologna. And then in between, he gets leftovers, he gets chicken. You know what I mean? Candy, I have a frozen turkey, Bev, waiting for time so I can can it and also make broth. Well, the thing, like I said, I'm thinking I wouldn't, I'm just going to roast that turkey. And I'm going to use my canned bacon in the stuffing because that one tube, remember I made the meatloaf with that 2 pounds of sausage meat? Well, that sausage meat was more like the meat you buy to stuff a turkey. It was a lot more fat than meat. So what I'm going to do is I've got tube meat hamburger. I've got tube meat turkey. So I'm going to be making a meatloaf soon to beat all meatloafs. It's going to be a turkey sausage stuffing meatloaf. So, and then I'm going to do it in the 4 little pans. Or 8 pans. I'm going to make it go as far as I bloody well can. Not fear, bad word choice. I have to go into the depths of my freezer and can up a bit of meat. I haven't yet for fear I cannot get more. Yeah, well, I get it. Like there's 2 round steaks out there, and I'm gonna be thawing one out soon. And now who told me? Was it you, Paula? Somebody told me they had a recipe for round steak done in the crock pot. I want that recipe. I'm not kidding. This is connectedheartsfamily@gmail.com. And if I like the recipe, I will do it. I will showcase it because I have 2 round steaks. And Howie seems to think they're inside round, and I seem to think they're folded up. So we'll see. I managed 30 chickens, buy one, get one for a penny. I am just now through the boneless, skinless chicken breasts we stocked back in October last year. Pork ribs. That's the one thing I'm having a hard time with is pork these days. Chicken quarters, top sirloin beef. Oh, yeah, and soon there's a guy at Howie's work. I'm going to give him $200 to reserve our quarter of beef. Okay. So, because I am not letting my freezer get like this again. Right. I would love to know how to cook a round steak. I always manage to make them into shoe leather. That's because they are shoe leather, honey. They are. You pound the piss out of them. You pound the piss out of them with a meat tenderizer, and then you marinate them overnight. And then you might be able to do something with them. I can remember getting a round steak once and pounding the piss out of it and then stuffing it and then rolling it up. But I think if I did that, I would sear it on both sides first. You hear this? And this is being quiet. This is why I can't read in the summertime. Yes, pound them. I'm back. I had to pop out quickly. I canned the meatballs, just plain, nothing added in spaghetti sauce, and it turned out delicious. Maybe I'll try that. No, I'm not, But I'll tell you something. I have a lot of tomato plants, and that's what I said. I've got the 4 beds you saw that are now triple depth. There's going to be root vegetables going in them. And if I decide to make them that deep, right? Because they grew nice and deep in 2. So I may remove those and put them elsewhere. And I want a couple of barrels cut in half of the bottoms and the tops cut off. I'm planting everything I possibly can this year. Can be very tender, pound them and then marinate. That's what I just said. I have to put a new seal for my freezer. Not you. Fat. Oh yeah, Howie, you left the freezer open, eh? The jar there was a jar stuck behind it and it was open an inch. There's not enough in there to keep that doing that. Farmers around here are giving their chickens, turkeys, and ducks and quail elderberry. They said it keeps the fowl from getting the bird flu. I have about 40 or 50 tomato plants growing. I've got like 30 of them. Now, if you remember correctly, my tomato beds, there's only like 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. I usually only plant 8. I'm going to be planting some there, some there, some there. In my beds that I can move, I'm going to put them at the end of the driveway so that before winter we can just pull them up if we want to. But they'll get hit with the snowplow if we don't. I have 40 or 50 tomato plants growing. Well, I'll tell you, those Manitoba tomatoes and those subarctic plenty have tripled in size since I transplanted them. You can always pressure cook round steak for tenderness also. There is that. I'm looking for elderberry so I can make some jelly. Well, you know what? You drive the country road, you'll see it. You drive around and it looks like almost like umbrellas of pale yellow, almost like a Queen Anne's lace, but it's on a tree with spear-shaped leaves. And it looks like a cap of tiny flowers, and they're like a yellowish white. Mark where that is. That's usually an elderberry bush, but only eat the black ones. The red ones are poisonous. Pouring baking soda around the plants makes the tomatoes sweet. Really? Well, I always do my standby because I plant my tomatoes in the same spot every year. And even though I add new soil on top every year, because some gets washed away, pulled out with roots, whatever, right? I always, like I have probably, once it's ground, I probably have 2 cups of dried toasted eggshell, which I will grind with 2 cups of unscented Epsom salts. And the magnesium sulfate and the calcium help stopping, because if you plant your tomatoes, you got a great bed for tomatoes, but it's the only bed you can use. You have to amend the soil or your tomatoes will get blossom end rot. I have to go. Supper's ready. I can't have outside plants at the new apartment. We'll be able to do containers at my daughter-in-law's house. There you go. When pork goes up in price, that's when we begin to worry. But I only buy meat BOGO. Round steak, not tenderized, can be beef broccoli or pepper steak. Oh, this has got some beef broccoli, yeah. Because Did you get the comfrey video? Not yet. Did you send it to Proton Mail? Don't send anything to Proton Mail. I'm getting tired of having to put in a password every time. Just send it to connectedheartsfamily@gmail.com, Andrew, or the family address. You know what the family email address is, right? Send it to there because I do have comfrey. And I could probably go out and get some of it that's rotted from last year because it was a fairly big patch. Epsom salt, once planted, I grind the eggshells and the Epsom salts together. And then I just put a teaspoon in the soil and I mix it in. Like I dig the hole for the tomato. And then I take a heaping teaspoon of my Epsom salts and eggshell. And then I stir it into the soil and put a little bit more dirt in, and then I put the tomato plant in and go, right? I don't put it directly on the calcium and stuff, right? Listen, guys, I gotta go. If it's on hey, more name. Is that Namad or Renamad? Well, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Howie, can you turn the timer off? I'll be out in a minute. Thank you. So can I do a reading for you? More named. No, more Namad. Mori Namad. I don't even know how to say that. I heard that that a can of sardines helps when you plant. Yeah, but you deal with animal smell, right? You know what? Howie's been saving me his coffee grounds, and they celery loves coffee grounds. Celery, thank you so much for that. Thank you. Let's do a quick prayer before we go. I don't want to offend anybody, but this is the time. If you don't want to connect with you don't have a faith to connect with, or it's not your cup of tea to connect with faith the way we do, then that's just hit clear all, dear. And it's not a video. If you want to help yourself, go ahead. I will join you right shortly. Yes, I will. Then leave it be, and I'll be there in a minute. This is not for everybody. Everybody prays differently. Everybody connects with the source of their faith differently. This is just for the folks who know how. This is just for the folks who can connect with their faith together with us. We drop the walls that religion has erected between us, and we connect directly with our source of faith. I with mine, you with yours. Okay? So, for all those who care to, Moranamad. That's a beautiful name. You didn't hit clear all, dear. Well, then hit the timer for the oven thing. Something's not right. So for all those who care to, please help me close with some light and some love to be pushed to each other, to be shared with each other and pushed out to the world, okay? Hubby has had you going on the computer for 2 days. Well, thank you, Avon Leanne. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. Nice deep breath. And then we're going to hold it as long as possible. And when you hold it, don't hold it up here. Relax yourself and let it go right down into your lungs and hold it, okay? We'll do that 3 times, and it helps clear things out, right? Hey, God, creator and source of all, thank you, God, for bringing us together today so that we could share our love, our light, our laughter, our wisdom, our strength, and our energy with each other. It is greatly appreciated. God, thank you for all the folks that have uplifted and supported me emotionally and Angie through this time of grief and chaos that it can sometimes happen with someone passing. God, but we also come here to lift up those folks who don't know how to lift themselves up yet. Folks that have been beaten down by the darkness and are just too weak to get up and face it another day. God, we lift those people up into the sunshine, through the clouds, into the sunshine of your love, in their sickness, in their loneliness, in their pain, in their financial distress, in their illnesses and family issues and friend issues and financial issues and all those things that come with living in these times. God, we lift them up to you so that the sunshine of your love can pour down on them and plant the seed of awareness of your love, so that when they get their breath, they will rise and they will step into the light and they will lift their torch aloft, the torch of your divine love, so that somebody else may come out of the darkness. Thank you, God, for bringing us here and for allowing us, for helping us to see past this and look forward and move forward with love, peace, harmony, patience, and tolerance. Thank you, God. Amen. Namaste. Shalom. Merry meet. Peace be with you. Walk in the light of God. Mary part, Miigwech, whatever your salutation is when you're talking to your faith, know that when we come together, our faith is limitless. Our faith is limitless anyway. But when we come together, it packs a punch. Take care. God bless. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Gotta go feed my hubby now.